Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Diah Ramadhani with student number 2341-2060 from class AKT 23A, Universitas Teknokrat Indonesia. In this video, I will explain a little about allocating the value of the acquisition into goodwill in the Advanced Financial Accounting course. Understanding goodwill. So, goodwill is an intangible asset that arises when a company is acquired by another company at a price higher than the fair value of its identifiable net asset. The value of goodwill reflects the reputation, brand, customer loyalty, and other intangible aspects that cannot be directly valued but contribute significantly to the company's profitability. In financial statement, goodwill is recorded as an intangible asset on the acquiring company's balance sheet. Goodwill reflects the value obtained from the integration of various intangible assets owned by the acquired company. Next, 4 benefits of goodwill. 1. Measuring the company's added value. Goodwill helps measure the additional value owned by a company beyond its identifiable physical and financial assets. This is important to understand the extent to which a company's reputation and brand contribute to the overall value of the company. 2. Investor and creditor trust. The presence of goodwill in the financial statement can increase investor and creditor confidence. Significant goodwill indicates that a company has strong intangible assets, such as a well-known brand or a loyal customer base, which can provide long-term benefits. 3. Customer relationship management. Goodwill often reflects strong customer relationship and brand loyalty. This means that companies with high goodwill tend to have a stable and loyal customer base, which can provide sustainable income in the future. And 4. Post-acquisition synergy. In the context of an acquisition, goodwill reflects the synergies expected from the merger of two companies. These synergies can be in the form of increased operational efficiency, market expansion, or increased innovation capabilities. Next, how to calculate goodwill? Goodwill is usually calculated in the context of an acquisition. Here are the steps of calculate goodwill. 1. Identify the acquisition price. The first step is to determine the total price paid by the acquiring company to acquire the target company. This price includes cash, share issues, and the fair value of liability assets. 2. Determine the fair value of identifiable assets and liabilities. The next step is to assess the fair value of all identifiable assets and liability of the acquired company. This includes fixed asset, inventory, receivable, and liabilities such as debt. And 3. Calculate goodwill. Goodwill is calculated by subtracting the next fair value of identifiable asset and liability from the acquisition price. The calculation formula is goodwill together with acquisition price reduced by net fair value of identifiable asset and liability. Goodwill calculation example. Suppose a company ABCDE acquired company RSTUV from 10 billion. The fair value of identifiable asset and liability of company RSTUV is 7 billion. Therefore, the calculation of goodwill is as follows. Goodwill together with 10 billion reduced by 7 billion. So, goodwill it is 3 billion. Goodwill example is practice. To provide a clearer picture, here are examples of goodwill in real business context. 1. Facebook's acquisition of Instagram. In 2012, Facebook acquired Instagram for approximately $1 billion. The fair value of Instagram's net asset at the time was estimated to be much lower than the acquisition price. A large portion of the acquisition price was goodwill, which include Instagram's brand value, large user base, and future growth potential. And 2. Amazon's acquisition of Whole Foods. In 2017, Amazon acquired Whole Foods for $30.7 billion. The fair value of Whole Foods' net asset, including fixed asset and inventory, was much lower than the acquisition price. The goodwill value from this transaction reflects Whole Foods' reputation as an organic food provider and its customer loyalty. Next, factors affecting goodwill value. There are at least 4 factors that can affect goodwill value, namely 1. Reputation and brand. Companies with strong brand and good reputation tend to have high goodwill values. A widely recognition, a brand can attract customers and create long-term loyalty. 2. Customer relationship. Companies that have strong customer relationship and high loyalty from their customers usually have higher goodwill value. A loyal customer base is a valuable intangible asset for a company. Number 3. Innovation and technology. Companies that have advanced technology or unique product innovation can also have high goodwill values. This competitive advantage can be a significant source of added value. And number 4. Employee and company culture. An experienced management team and positive company culture can also contribute to goodwill value. Decided employees and a culture that support innovation and collaboration are important assets that can increase a company value. Next, impact of goodwill in financial statement. Goodwill has several important impact on a company's financial statement. 1. Impact on the balance sheet. Goodwill is recorded as an intangible asset on the balance sheet. It adds to the company's total asset and can affect the calculation of financial ratios such as return on asset and debt to equity ratio. 2. Amortization and impairment. Goodwill is not amortized but is tested for impairment annually if the fair value of goodwill declines. The company must recognize an important loss in the income statement, which can negatively impact the company's profitability. And 3. Impact on taxes. In some jurisdictions, goodwill impairment losses are tax deductible, although tax policies may vary depending on local regulation. That's a little bit of material from me, helpful, useful. If you have any question, please write them in the comment column. I apologize if there are any wrong words. Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.